Oh, if you didn't know, this is the Morning Wood NFL Sunday here, brought to you by Rumpier Sports.
What up, boys? We're back with the Golf Wars Show, the preeminent golf show on the entire internet.
Huge weekend of baseball coming up. We haven't really had a final week like this in a while where there's so many teams that are still alive.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone! Unbelievable! A home run for Gibson. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby in Freddie!
They might have the best pass rush in football.
They were adamant about not having a slow start.
How many times have they disappointed us? So I'm having a lot less of this game.
The game is over. The New York Jets are the world champions. Mahomes swings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot! Kansas City! The Chiefs are back-to-back Super Bowl champions!
Welcome to Pickin' Winners. This is Run Pure Sports. I am Statsational here with my boy JBC, and we are coming off yet another Thursday night upset.
Banger. That game was a banger.
That was great. I mean, it was a great game. Watching the old timers was funny in the Joe Cool in the chats today saying, "Hey, some of us old timers." Maybe we still got something left. It was a good night for the old guys. Rodgers, Flacco, Scherzer had a good night last night as well. You know what I loved about Rodgers was just the Hail Mary attempt.
Yeah.
He threw that thing 70 yards. The guy's like 50.
Dude,
So,
he's got the best moon ball for a Hail Mary. The one he threw against Arizona, remember he threw two back. He threw it out of his own end zone on 4th and 20, caught it. And then he throws another one the next play and caught it again.
Was that that was the playoff game, wasn't it?
Against Arizona.
In Arizona.
The white guy caught it. Not Jordy, but the other random ass white guy. I forgot his name. Yeah,
I'm forgetting the name as well. No, I was sitting next to the guy at the bar, and inevitably, I think we even talked about it last week. I'm always getting shown my I'm always getting shown an SGP bet. People don't know who I am. They got to show me their bet. So of course the guy had Pittsburgh as one of his bets. And that was already done. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, right before he threw it, I go, listen, nobody throws a better Hail Mary than this guy. And it was a beauty, but they didn't really, it wasn't really close to getting completed. It was funny. I actually saw on X today, someone comparing it to the Super Bowl Hail Mary attempt by Jalen Hurts.
Janis, that was the guy's name.
Yes. Okay.
Jeff Janis.
You remember the Jalen Hurts Super Bowl attempt at about the same distance of a Hail Mary, and he basically threw it about 40 yards straight into the ground. So yeah, not quite. Yeah, Rodgers does throw a beautiful ball, but this is another game now that I'm not necessarily shocked at the outcome. I don't think you can be totally shocked that Cincinnati won the game. Much like the Giant game the week before, I was shocked at how they won the game, that the offense was able to protect Flacco.
Well, I mean, he threw it to Jamar Chase 23
times. That was the odd thing too, was, Chase had a couple of kind of bobble, but I guess when you get the ball 23 times, you're going to bobble a few of them and then you're going to catch a bunch of them too. I mean, he had a monster game. I think you would have went 2 for 40 if you would have been targeted 23 times as well. So, I mean, he had a monster game. Smart by, obviously, listen, Flacco's I got one of the best receivers in all of football here. And perhaps, look, it shows you maybe at that position, there is no position in any sport, I don't think, where just being smart, at least for your sport, is such a key factor. And I think that's why it's tough to draft quarterbacks, because you just don't know. You could test them and you could do written tests and all that. It's hard to really figure out.
There are a lot of guys built like Josh Allen, but most of them are dumb.
Well, exactly. Listen, it's just rare that you're going to get right. You're going to get a guy who's built like Josh Allen, can run like Josh Allen, and's going to be smart enough to read defenses and do it man, you're asking a lot out of the creator of however we were created to be able to get all of those tools. But you see these guys, the guys who are going to last are just going to be smarter. Now, our fear with Flacco, we talked about last week, was that offensive line. We're like, because we were talking about the Green Bay
getting rid of the ball quick, though.
Well, that's the one thing. So you're like, when a guy has experience, it's two things. I mean, he is also directing how the offensive line, right? He's calling the blocking schemes for the offensive line. So perhaps when you have a quarterback who reads defenses really well, understands where the pressure is coming from, can, shift the line to protect himself, maybe that has a lot to do with it and having that experience back there. But, the flip side of that is Pittsburgh cannot score 31 points and lose it. You just can't do it. When you've got this division pretty much almost wrapped up, and now you've not just let Cincinnati back in, who I don't think is necessarily going to make a run, but Baltimore's back into this. Baltimore's back. You said yesterday, like,
Pittsburgh is
hey,
plus money to win the division now.
You still think Pittsburgh wins?
No, I'm saying they're plus money now.
Oh, I know. No, and you saw, I think Tony actually tweeted it out today, just how big a move Cincinnati made from 20-1 to like plus 450 in the betting market. But we talked about it before yesterday's game, assuming Pittsburgh was going to win. And I think, and I was saying, hey, Baltimore, who knows? Lamar comes back. Baltimore could run the table, right? They get the bye week this week.
Yeah, but now you're only getting plus 130 on them. Like,
no. The line.
I still would take Pittsburgh at the number.
Agreed. But you've got to, if you're a Baltimore fan, you got to be looking at this going, man, we could win 10, 11 games still and win this division and make the playoffs. So it's real interesting. I mean, I just think it's been a wild year. Just my stats and what I run and like the power rankings it's the oddest I've ever seen. And you get a team. I mean, you don't expect Cincinnati to score them. This Pittsburgh team gave up this many points. I figured, in the 30s to the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the Jets can't move the ball at all. So it's so hard to figure week in, week out. But these Thursday night games have been, they've been exciting and interesting. And for those in survivor pools, they weren't a huge pick last night, Pittsburgh, but 3 weeks in a row, favorites going down and people get knocked out before they even get to Sunday in these survivor pools.
Yeah. I mean, I went with Kansas City for all of mine remaining ones this week.
I mean,
the spread differential was too high. There isn't another game over 7. So, like, I understand taking New England a little bit, but I'm just going to stick with.
Well, my thing would take if just to touch on survivors, my thing with taking New England this week is there's going to be a lot of people on New England as well. So I don't know if you get the benefit. Like, you're almost better off taking. The reason people won't be on Denver is because they have a tough week 10, and a lot of people are just hyped up on the Giants right now. But week 10, not that they have a tough week 10, but week 10 overall is tough. And they're one of your better options. So a lot of people just don't want to take them. But in a larger pool, look, we've got to get 18 weeks in a large pool. So you're just trying to figure out the optimal way that you're going to be able to get there. And you're going to have to take, 18 teams, right? So you're going to have to presumably take the best 18 teams. But if you're in a small pool, you either are going to take the best team possible, which in this week would be Kansas City, unless you think there's a high number, and I do some math on this. To me, it's like 60% or more. If I had 10 people in my pool and 6 were going to take Kansas City, I think that's when you have to look at taking an alternate team. And if you're going to take an alternate team, you want to be on a team that no one else is going to have. And I think this week would be a Denver, right? Because that gives you at least the possibility of winning.
If you just scoop it early, yeah,
right,
yeah. But in a big pool. Like small pool, either take the best team until you get one of those situations. I'm not sure this week's the situation because I don't think Kansas City has a very high likelihood of losing. But in a big pool, you don't need to make those kinds of moves until you get to the very, very end.
You're trying to pick optimally. I mean, ideally, after 18 weeks are up, if you went back, it's hard to do even after you've seen the entire season to pick. And when I say optimally, not the teams that won. Trying to pick your highest win probability for 18 weeks. It's a really difficult task to do. And that's when you know all of the information. So it's a tough game. Most people are going to lose. It's really difficult to do at 18 weeks, but yeah, let's jump into these games this week. See what we got going. Matt, we got another 9:30 game. I'm so
done with this.
I'm so done with these games. But Jacksonville, that's like their home away from home. They've got to go out to
dude. David goes to all the games in Jaguar shit.
Well, you got to let people know who David is. I mean,
I like my brother David, but he and his wife, they live in London. They go to all the games in Jaguars shit. They're like Jaguars fans now.
I would imagine they have a decent amount of fans.
Oh yeah, because they've played like fucking 20 games over there.
Yeah, they play I think if he would have it his way, they would have a team.
Oh yeah, Shad Khan would absolutely move the team.
Yeah,
to London if he could.
It will happen.
Although I don't know, because the headquarters for AEW is now.
Yeah, but he's not. It's his son.
But his son is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's technically the owner,
right?
But legally,
right.
But I'm talking about like their offices and headquarters and stuff. The Jaguars and AEW like share buildings
in Jacksonville.
Yeah, but I mean, Fulham's in London. They could just do it with Fulham.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's I'm tired of it. They're doing a lot. But do you think in our lifetime? Or in how many? I think it's inevitable that we're going to have teams.
Mexico City's got to be first.
You would think. I mean, that's an easy one, right?
Mexico City or Toronto, but Mexico City, I would think, is first.
There's logistics involved in doing it in Europe, but they'll figure it out. With everyone will get the bye when they come off of that. But if you had to be the home team
what
there,
you do is I got this. You have the team that's in London play the first 8 games in London and then play the entire second half of the season on the road.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
And then you would have so for instance, if it's the Jaguars, they play the first 8 games in London, they have their facilities in London, then they come back to America and they have their facilities in Jacksonville, and they use Jacksonville as a home base and then play all of their games in America the second half of the season.
Yeah, there'll be no one will get upset on X about that. That'll just go over.
Hey, look, the schedule's not fair to begin with, so who fucking
cares?
I don't give a shit.
No doubt. But listen, it is what it is right now. We got a 9:30 a.m. game here on the East Coast. I don't know what you people on the West Coast do, but I actually I like being on the West Coast for football. It's kind of cool to be.
It's great, except for this.
Yeah, I'm not getting up and watching a 6:30 game.
6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, but so the Rams favored here by 3. We get Jacksonville. They look so good. I mean, this is the NFL. We could say this almost about every game that we're going to go over. They look so good. They come home and throw up a dud, right, against Seattle, who was coming off a loss. Now you get the Rams coming in here. 3-point favorite. Rams are 44.5, 45, 44.5 over at DraftKings, -115 to the over. You like anything here in this international matchup?
I usually don't factor in like flight distance, but this flight for the Rams is fucking long. This is a long flight. And Jacksonville is very well versed at playing in London. Without Puka, the Rams might struggle a little. I don't foresee like heavy struggles, but I definitely enough that I like the under in this game, especially without even that game between Jacksonville and Seattle last week was pretty plotting. And so I do like the under most here, but I like Jacksonville with the 3. A lot of it has to do with travel, and a lot of it has to do with the major injury for the Rams.
Yeah, I typically don't. Is Puka playing?
No,
he's not playing, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, because I thought you mentioned he wasn't, and that may have screwed up a little bit or a lot. Obviously, him getting knocked out of that game early, comes back late. It did change that game for them last week. I mean, they won, but
they couldn't score on the Ravens.
They couldn't score. Yeah. And
not good.
No, that wasn't good. I mean, my numbers here on a neutral field do prefer the Rams. But I do think you have to take into account that whole I'm with you. I don't really buy much into the, when you go West Coast to East Coast and vice versa, it's not that big of a deal. But I think in this instance,
how long is this flight? 14 hours?
Oh God. So I mean it's it's probably 11 or 12, I'm guessing. I've never done it from there, but yeah, it's probably in that ballpark.
10.5 to 11 hours.
Yeah. So it's more the time difference, really, too, right? So it's a tough time difference, obviously, if you're on the East Coast. Playing at that time, they're basically playing their
6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, their internal clocks are really early. I think that's going to be because it does happen. I think I mentioned it maybe on the show. Teams during the primetime games, when you get an East Coast team playing a West Coast team. The West Coast teams have had an advantage in the betting markets going back a long time in those games, and it's because of
it's changed now with the private flying and like
yes, it is different. But there was, I think, in this case though, it does factor in. So
it's crazy. And like in the Champions League, like Real Madrid had to play in Kazakhstan, and that's about how long this flight is. This flight might be longer, which is crazy.
It's tough. Again, the flight's tough. You get the jet lag, but I think that time difference. When do they get in? They're probably there now.
I was assuming they get in yesterday.
Yeah, they have to get there early, but yeah, I think it's going to be tricky. So I do like I like the Rams though. I lean that way, but I do agree with you. I would have the Rams 3-point favorites in this game. So I don't know if it's enough of a disadvantage as far as where the line is now. I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't wait this. Well,
it's
I have
tough
it as
to quantify what the advantage is because this situation happens like once every 5 years.
Exactly. I actually, I have them. It is a 3-point edge. So I have it exactly where the market is. And then you've got to figure out, is it a point and a half? So I said, I'm leaning on the Rams. I actually have it exactly where the line is. And if I'm going to even put a point towards that travel, then I guess it's Jacksonville with the lean. So apologies for misspeaking there. So I would have a slight lean on Jacksonville for this one. The total, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say the under here because let's go with the theory here. If the travel is a thing, especially in the first half, maybe under here, especially for the Rams, slow start, or just bet maybe the first half on Jacksonville. I think that would, maybe it's a little bit of a slow start with that early time in their time clock. Could be the bet here as well. All right, let's move on to the next one. We have got the Dolphins, a real good one here. Dolphins against the Browns. Browns 2.5-point favorites, -115 on that -2.5 over at DraftKings. Over 37.5 is even money on DK. Low total here. Got the Browns. We always talk about their defense when they come up. Browns against Miami. What do you like?
I'm having a tough time seeing how Miami is going to move the ball in this game. I think over under 37.5. I think this is a clean under. We're looking at a 17-13 type deal. And the Browns defensive line is going to eat them alive. I'll take the Browns all day, even with the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I put this one I had it at 2 and 38, so it's pretty close to where the market's at. So kind of a coin flip for me. I like to take, look, if there's one clear best unit on the field, I like to go with that team. I don't think there's I'm not a huge unless I had a great quarterback in this game, which I don't think we have, obviously. So I'm gonna lean towards the Browns. And as far as the total, did you mention the total on this one?
Yeah, 37.5.
What I'm saying, which way you like it?
I went under.
You like the under? I would
think Miami's going to be able to score like at all.
Yeah, like I said, I have it a point over. So, but that's not enough for me to make necessarily a play or half point over, depending on the book. But yeah, I would probably. My gut tells me the under here. No strong real lean for me on either side. All right, we're going to go to a game. Hey, look, Philly at Minnesota. This Philadelphia team is record-wise starting to come back to where maybe their statistics say they should be. I don't think they have not outgained an opponent yet.
No,
this year. And they're 4-2. They were 4-0 without outgaining an opponent.
Short yardage efficiency.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what we always talk about with them. They're going to be laying 2 points on the road here to the Vikings. 1.5 only at DraftKings. So some books are 2, some are 1.5. You got 43.5 in DraftKings to the over is -115. Which way are we looking here with the Vikings and the Eagles?
The Eagles offense just looks completely disjointed. I mean, and then you look at how the defense played against the Giants. I have a hard time. Like, as rough as Minnesota's quarterback situation is, I have a hard time seeing how Brian Flores doesn't scheme the Eagles into oblivion here. Minnesota being a dog here doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I like the Vikings.
I'm going to be with you on this one as well. I think the Vikings should actually be favored in the game. I think the reason they're not is just we're still going on this, Philly defending champ. I think it's more of a reputational line than necessarily what the numbers would dictate. So I think we could take advantage of really, fading Philly with some of these in the upcoming weeks, and we'll see if they continue to struggle. That line will catch up, but I don't think the line is caught up yet. So I do like.
I think a lot of it's coaching. I think they're having coaching issues.
Yeah, it very well could be. Look, you're the darling. When it's working and it's winning, their front office. Everyone wants to copy what they're doing and copy what the coaching staff's doing. And then when it's not working, of course, you could ask them down in Miami, how that's going. So, yeah. So when it's not working, everyone wants to pile on you. But I agree. I think the coach has a lot to do, and I agree with Brian Flores, fantastic defensive coach. I agree with you. I think he will be able to scheme them here, and I like Minnesota to win this game. So that's one of my better plays, at least for me here this week, would be Minnesota. You like this game over or under?
With how bad the Eagles defense looked last week, I'm thinking over because it's kind of a lower total, but I don't really have like a strong feel for it.
Yeah, I think it's actually a little high. I'm going to take this one to the under. I would have put this line closer to 41.5. And so I'm going to take the under, slight lean, but Minnesota stronger for me.
All right. I feel like we haven't even gotten to any of the good ones yet. Like I feel really strongly about like 6 or 7 of these this week.
Well, that's good because last week I had a lean on the Kansas City game. You really loved Kansas City.
And they beat their fucking face in.
They did. So I like that. So hopefully maybe I'll have a strong play on some of the ones you're strong on, which I'll feel good about. But hopefully I'm not against your strong ones. That never feels good. So let's go to talk about Kansas City. Let's go there. We've got Vegas coming in. We talked about this one with a survivor pool implications for sure. Double-digit favorite. It's down to 11.5 on DraftKings, minus 112. You're still getting 12 at most sports books. 45.5 at DraftKings is the total, minus 110. Why do I get the feeling this is a game you like?
I like it, but it's not one of my top.
All right.
I think Kansas City is going to kill them.
Okay.
I don't see the Raiders scoring very much here. The Kansas City's defense has looked amazing. The Lions couldn't fucking run on them. How the fuck are the Raiders going to run on them? Dude, Kansas City all day, 31-3.
All right, I'm glad it's not your strong play because I'm on the other side. Yeah, not strong for me though either. I like Vegas. I just think I hate laying this many points. I hate laying double digits.
Yeah.
I
You got your whole thing. Yeah.
I did it last week with that Green Bay game, and it did not work out for us. But I'll give you all the square logic. Divisional game. They play them tight. Yeah, exactly. 9 point. I have this as a 9-point edge though for them on my with my numbers. So I think we're getting a little bit of an advantage here with Kansas City. I think the fear is that Kansas City may be figuring it out a little bit. That defense is strong. I agree with you. I've got 41 points as the total for this one. So I do like this game to go under. And, it's tough for a game to go under this number and for Kansas City to cover. But, if they don't give up any points.
The last time we said that, it worked. It went, it was Houston against Tennessee, and it was like 25-0.
Yeah. But that's exactly how you're going to have to do it. Like 26-0. I think that game was, and that could happen here. But I think, Vegas has to be feeling good about themselves. They got that big win last week against a great team. So who knows? Maybe they get a little momentum coming in here. But I think it'll be, I don't think Vegas will ever. I don't think they're going to be looking to win this game. It's going to be one of those kind of late. They'll be obviously, if I like Vegas, I got to keep this thing within a couple of scores. I think they'll always be within arm's length, never really with a chance to win, but they'll keep this one under 10. I'll take the under, and I'll take
under too.
And I'll take Vegas plus the points. All right, we've got the team I just talked about, Tennessee, hosting New England. It's another one that's Survivor people are looking at because we got a touchdown line here, +7 for the home Titans, -110, 42.5, -105 at DraftKings to the over. Touchdown spread here. This New England, look, I mean, I'm sure everyone's hearing all the stats with Drake May. He's basically putting up Tom Brady type numbers right now, playing extremely well. I got to give them credit. We talked about the coach here as well. I think you got to give him credit here. He's done a lot with a little in Tennessee, and he seems to be doing the same here. Now he may have a legitimate franchise quarterback to work with. Who do we like here? He's going against his old team. A little revenge game, I guess, huh? With
Pat Callahan just got fired.
Yeah. Well, that's that's the other angle. I like when I kind of like that angle sometimes, when a coach gets fired, if it's a like coach. So this will be an interesting one. They're going to be fired up, obviously, for this game.
Dude, Drake May, like before the season, I was so down on New England. I was so down on them. I thought they were going to be bad. And motherfucker, he might be the MVP. This guy, Drake May is the truth. Like, I have all the faith in the world in Drake May. I see this one similarly to that last game we just talked about. I think New England beats the shit out of them, and I think it goes under.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to pick against them. I'm gonna take Tennessee though on here. Give me the at home, the 7 points. I think this is close. I think the line is a little bit
about to run it up.
He will if he gets the chance. I get that, but look, if he's at the point where it's run it up, they weren't covering 7 anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. What do you like on the total here? It's 42.5.
Under. Tennessee's offense looks terrible.
I agree with you on the under. I like the under actually a little bit more than I like the side, but I'll take the points again. Give me a low scoring game. I'm going to take I'll take the points with Tennessee. They're going to be fired up. New coach going against their old coach.
Oh, everybody's going to be fired up. This whole game
is going to be fired up all around for a Titan game.
Looking nicey.
All right, we've got here's the game that I know you're most interested in. Panthers heading into New York to play the Jets. What a good one. Panthers.
Bro, we are 3-3. My God.
Panthers, listen, the Panthers are playing well. The Panthers
are the only team that's in the top 5 in offensive and defensive.
I know. You sent that to me. And listen, I know they've had a fairly weak schedule, but you got to give them a lot of credit. They're not a terrible team. I actually think the Jets, I think personnel-wise, the Jets are not the worst team in football.
Garrett Wilson's hurt, though.
That's a problem, of course. But right now, Justin Fields can't hit. He couldn't throw to him anyway, so it doesn't really matter who their wide receivers are the way he's playing. But it's like Justin Fields, I said, he's gonna pop for a big game every now and then he's gonna give you that performance that they did last week. And by the way, at what point, I mean, how does Aaron Glenn have a 5-year contract? A guy who and now you are
coach the fucking Jets.
And it's like, how do you put yourself in these situations? They can't fire him right now, but I would have fired him at halftime if I could have of that game. I mean, what he did at the half was I don't know. I don't get it, and I talked about this with Wiley on the Tuesday show, and I'm like, so many people, you give these guys credit, like you're like, they get to a position and you're like, well, obviously these are the best guys, but we all work in industries and we've all worked for somebody. And you're like, how did that guy get this job? Like, how did he get to where he got? And that's what some of these coaches, I'm like, how did they get the job? If you watch, I'm not a big Hard Knocks guy.
Aaron Glenn got the job because he played for the Jets.
And he played for the Jets, and he's coming off Detroit. And Detroit, hey, we're going to bring in some of that Dan Campbell energy, and he's a Jet legend. And boy, I don't think the Jet fans give 2 shits about Aaron Glenn right now. They are pissed, and I would be too. But what do you think? Your boys here, Carolina is a road favorite. I mean, what's this world coming to?
Yeah, I like us a lot. I just don't like, if there's one strength that the Jets have, it's pass defense. And we don't fucking throw the ball. We're just gonna run it down their throat. We're gonna run for 300 yards. Like I don't see how, one, the Jets I don't think will score it very much, and 2, they're not going to be able to stop us running the ball. We're going to be able to control the clock. 24-10 type deal. I like Carolina and under.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a slight edge here to Carolina. I've got this line at 2. I've got it at 42 on the total, so I'm right there on the total as well. But I agree with you because I I don't think the Jets could stop the running game for Carolina, which is that's really what's happening right now with Carolina.
And now we got Chuba back. We don't have to give Dowdle the ball 30 times.
Exactly. They're going to pound. And you know what you got with Dowdle? He's obviously performed really well here in the 2 weeks here that he started. Now, you played a god-awful defense last week. But it's not like the Jets. All right, the Jets performed well against Denver, but this is not a great defense with the Jets. They don't do much well at all. I think you're right. I think the game plan is, hey, we can win these games by running it and not putting too much on the back of Bryce Young. I think Carolina as a road favorite. I didn't think I'd be saying that in 2025, but Carolina is a road favorite, and I like them. Slight lean both sides here to the give me the Carolina side and the under. I think we agree on both of those. All right, let's head to Chicago, where the New Orleans Saints come in to Chicago. Big win for the Bears Monday night. Caleb Williams, continues to improve. They get that W against what, a little payback for the game last year, right? Against Washington with the Hail Mary. They had them beat that game.
The wrong team won both of them. And
that's exactly right. So I'm like, yep, they flipped the script here. Chicago gets a game they maybe shouldn't have won, but they do get the win. Some signs of life here with the Bears. New Orleans, obviously not a good team. They've been game in a lot of the matchups this year. 5 points spread.
If Johnson doesn't fumble that ball last week, I mean, it swung everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. 5 point spread, 46.5. It's only 4.5 at DraftKings, but you're laying a little bit more juice with the Bears to get that 4.5 number. 115, 46.5 minus the 108 on the total to the over on DraftKings. Which way we going here?
Same way I've gone on every single New Orleans game. New Orleans and over. I still don't think the market has reacted enough to them being a decent team on offense. I know I'm repeating myself, but the Bears can't fucking stop anybody other than Jaden Daniels because he sucks. But I think New Orleans will be able to move the ball just fine. So I think we get a high scoring game.
They can move it on the ground. Is that what you're saying?
They can move in the air too.
Yeah, I think they'll move it on the ground. I think they're going to be okay there. I don't love the guy. I have it exactly at 5. And I got it right at 47 on the total. But I think, you kind of, if you push me to make a pick, which we got to do here, I'm going to lean towards, I'm going to lean towards New Orleans as well, but the under, just because I think they'll be able to move the ball on the ground, try to keep this one close and low scoring. But it's not a game I like at all. It's not a strong play for you, this one.
Yeah, no, I like New Orleans.
Oh, you love this game. Okay, so you
love New Orleans.
Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on it, but
I think New Orleans wins money line.
Okay, I like. Well, that's got survivor implications as well, because you really don't have many other opportunities to take Chicago, so they're going to get a decent chunk, especially in these larger pools. Circa is going to have probably, especially because Kansas City. You have to pick Thanksgiving and a Christmas game, and I think Kansas City plays both. They're playing Dallas on Thanksgiving. They're going to be a favorite in that game on the road. But a lot of people are holding out for that. So you're going to see quite a few Chicago. So if you're right, I think that'll shake up some survivor pools.
New Orleans is going to start winning some of these games they barely lose at the end.
They've like I said, they've
been right there the whole time.
Yeah, they've been tough in a lot of these matchups. I just don't have a strong feel. I do think they'll be able to move the ball on the ground on them, and that's why I think maybe both teams here a little bit more conservative on the ground. I'll lean to the under, but I don't love the game all that much. All right, let's head to these 4:00 games. The LA Chargers, about as far away from the other LA team you can get this week. They're hosting the Colts. This Charger team is going to lay 1.5 at home to the Colts, who, this is the NFL this year. You're like, okay, Colts been looking good. I think they're one of the better teams in the league, at least statistically. They've proven that. You get this Arizona team coming off one of the most unbelievable collapses that you'll ever see against Tennessee. Then their quarterback gets hurt. Then their best wide receiver gets hurt early in the game. You've got another old man, basically quarterbacking, who can't move. And he goes and throws for,
350 yards.
And he's right there to win that game. It's basically a coin flip at the end of the game, whether they're going to score or not. And they hold him out of the end zone.
In fairness,
bails a lot of survivor people out. but
they were training for a guy that's 5'7", and they ended up with a guy that's 6'7".
and I think that's actually
a
really
foot taller.
Yeah, it's a really good point because we've talked about this on this show where a lot of times you get that quarterback injury mid-game, and especially when it's a different type of quarterback. I hate it when I'm on the side of the quarterback, the opposite side of the quarterback.
As long as the backup is competent.
It's got to be a competent backup. Exactly. And it can't be Josh Allen or Lamar. It can't be one of those guys, Patrick Mahomes going out. It's got to be,
Right.
a Kyler Murray. When you get a veteran type of backup who's competent, just like Brissett is, and now you get this, and he's totally different style. Like you said, you're just not preparing. You're not preparing for that. So I think this week, maybe we'll see if it's different for them. But the game at hand here is the Colts over in LA with the Chargers. The Colts getting 1.5 on the road, 48.5 on the total. What do you like?
I believe I saw that Joe Alt practiced limited today or yesterday. So that obviously would be enormous for LA. They've got so many injuries on the offensive line. So if they can get one of their big stars back, that would be huge. So in that sense, I do like the Chargers quite a bit here. I think it's going to be a shootout. Indianapolis has done well on offense this year, obviously, with Daniel Jones. They did well on offense last week. The defense was horrible against Brissett, and Herbert's a lot better than Brissett. So my favorite pick in this game is the over, but I do like the Chargers some, but the over more.
Yeah, I've got this really close again. I have this as with the total, I have it really close. I have the Colts as a 1-point favorite in this game, just because
I think a lot of it has to do with the lineman situation. If Alt is back, then
that's exactly what I was going to say. I think if you get that, if they do get a little help here on the offensive, because that's really what the numbers are looking at. They've been playing now for a few weeks with this offensive line pretty banged up, and they just can't. I mean, if you watch the game, look, that game, what was it? Herbert made was it last week that Herbert made that insane? Was it last week? He made a really good, to McConnell.
Yeah,
right?
against the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable play. But he was under pressure. That's just really good, great athletic play by the quarterback to win that for him and get that big play at the end of the game. But he's been running for his life a lot in these games. If they can get some help, that's obviously my numbers are skewed because of the fact of what they've looked like here. So I think if they do get some help on the line there, I do lean more towards the Chargers. I would agree with you. I like this one, especially that if they get healthier here on the line, protect Herbert a little bit, I think this game does go over. I've already got it. I've got it at 49, which is slightly over, but I think that boosts the offense here for the Chargers that much more, that I'll feel better about the over than I really do on the side of this game. So I'll agree with you here. I like the over. All right. Denver hosting the New York Giants. The bros are coming in, man. Dart, Scatterboo. That's all the hoopla. It's all the hype. Is that hype built into the line, or are people just backing the Giants because of coming off a big win against Philly? Everyone's getting excited. New York, obviously popular team in the betting market. You got to lay 7 with the Broncos. 39.5 low total. Broncos coming off Broncos are traveling back now from overseas. Usually get the bye.
Flight,
yeah. Usually get the bye in that situation. They're going to come back and have to play the other New York.
And the
team.
Giants have 10 days off.
Yeah, so this is interesting.
It's a double fuck on the Broncos.
Yep, 39.5 is the total. What do you like in this one?
I like the way the Giants defense looked against the Eagles. Obviously, their defensive line is pretty fucking good, and the Broncos couldn't move the ball on the Jets at all. Could have lost that game very easily, despite their defense being incredible in that game. Fields with net negative passing yards. So under is my favorite play here. Under the 40.5 or 40 or I've seen some 39.5. And that, as you spoke about, that correlates heavily with the Giants cover. I don't see the Broncos moving the ball enough to cover 7. So I think we're looking at a 20-14 type situation. And so I'm going with New York and under.
Yeah, I think the play is actually the under. So I'm with you on that. I like this one to the under. I have it at 38. I mean, my number I've got it at 8. but I do think the Giants are improving here. So it's tough for me on the side. I'll lean to the I'll lean that I'll leave the Denver side here, but I don't love it. It's just going to be a lean, but I do think the under is a strong play. I agree with you, especially a little lag. It's so hard to figure out, coming off, how do I adjust my numbers? But for one thing, I think it's going to, I think it helps me to the under more so than how many points I'm going to have to adjust for having to come back from this London trip. So I think the under is the way to go in this matchup, and not as strong an opinion for me as far as the side goes. All right. Classic rivalry. We've got the Washington Commanders against the Dallas Cowboys. -1.5. Dallas is the favorite here at home. 54.5 over on DraftKings. You're laying 105 to the over. What do you like?
I really love this game, and I know you know exactly what I'm about to say. Washington fucking sucks. Washington sucks. I don't know why the fuck this is a pick 'em. Dallas should be laying a field goal. Dallas's defense is obviously terrible, but dude, Dallas is putting up 35 in this fucking game. So I like the Cowboys and the over both a lot.
I think this is a very strong play to the over. The side I'm not as confident in. I think this is a strong over, though. I agree. I've got this at 58 on the total. I don't see either. I mean, that's the way Dallas games have been. In DFS world, you've got
George Pickens is going for 5 touchdowns.
Well, Lamb's going to be in there, right?
Oh, George Pickens is still going for 5 touchdowns.
yeah, he might. You're only giving Lamb 2 then, I guess. So, I mean, this, it should be a shootout for sure. I mean, Jaden Daniels as far as DFS goes,
he couldn't even fucking score on the Bears. He sucked.
No, but they're going to score. They're going to score on. They're going to score.
They're going to run. It's going to be Krosky Merritt can score.
Yes. Yeah. Look, I've said it with Wiley the other day. I'm like, if at this point, if you don't have some piece of Dallas games in your main lineup, it's like,
I love it. I love watching their shit, dude. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean they've made everyone at some point. I mean, you got to have
the Bears. I could watch Dallas and the Bears, and then when they played the Bears, it wasn't even that good. But the Dallas and the Bears games are fucking great.
Yeah, Dallas is going to be a fun team to watch all year. It's fun to watch. Look, Baltimore would have been very similar, except with a lot better. And we'll see how they look. But Baltimore was playing that way too. It's like
Baltimore played Dallas because I want that.
Yeah, exactly. I got to look. I think it's one of the best. I have my positional rankings, and it's just based on what teams are giving up to each position, above or below the average. And I have every potential. I have a grid of every potential matchup, and that's like the best
matchup you could possibly get for the six.
It's only struggling right now because without
it's
Lamar,
the anti-Miami Cleveland.
Oh God, yeah. Well, we've got there's a lot more of those matchups I think in the NFL.
The worst matchup I think you could do is Cleveland and Houston. That would be awful.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. That's the matchup that would be the most boring. Game. What's that total? 35 and a half?
35 and a half.
Yeah, it's 35 and a half. And I that's not even a joke. I think that's the total in that game. That would be interesting. Do they even play? I don't know what their full schedule is.
Do they? They're both AFC, so maybe.
I don't know. Someone will tell us in the chat. But all right, so we both agree though. I think the play here is the over, but you like both sides. You like the Cowboys to cover this one. You don't think there's any way they really stop the Cowboys on offense.
Pick them. I'm going with the better quarterback, and Dak is significantly better.
All right. Some people are going to be upset with that, but I don't know if you're. I don't
think
you're wrong.
It's even a question. That's not even a question.
No, I don't think you're wrong, but you're going to get some blowback for that. But that's fine. You get blowback.
People are dumb, and they
get blowback for less.
The Cowboys are fun, guys.
It is fun to watch. It is fun to watch. As I said, when you have a bad defense, obviously you have to have a better than competent offense. But it makes for fantasy, it just makes the offense score more points. I mean, you have no choice. You're on the field a ton, and the Dallas is great at giving up nice, quick, long touchdowns too. So.
nice, quick, long.
Yeah. So it's great. You get the offense right back on the field.
Yeah, it's like really quick. They're terrible.
We got the last 4:00 game on the schedule here. You just talked about that Green Bay Arizona game from yesteryear. We've got that matchup this week. Arizona with Brissett again, +7 at home. Packers come in over 44.5. We talked yesterday or a couple of days ago. I was talking. We're like, I mean, week in, week out, it's just so hard to figure who's the best team in the league. You think it's Green Bay?
Green Bay's
right
the
now.
best team in the league.
You could argue it, but I think they're in the conversation for sure. Does that mean you like them here against Arizona?
I do. Obviously, their performance last week looks a little better in retrospect after what we saw out of the Bengals last night. Green Bay's defense, I just don't like. Jacoby Brissett scored on the Colts. He's not fucking scoring on Green Bay. So I like Green Bay in this game quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at it like, hey, the Green Bay just is going to be much more prepared for what Jacoby Brissett can do. They're not, of course, going to be surprised that he is in there. So they have a full week of preparation. I think the strongest play here is the under in this game. I like that Green Bay defense. I'm worried. I'm concerned about them covering the 7 points. They have struggled a bit on offense themselves. So I like this game to go under. I'm going to lean towards Arizona. I like that. I like the Arizona side just a little bit, but I think the strongest play in this game is in agreeing with you to the under. And I'll go with the traditional correlation here. We take an under and touchdown or better underdog. Typically, those things go hand in hand.
Now we get into my 3 favorite bets of the week.
Oh, you like all these you like primetime games?
All the primetime games.
Interesting. Okay. Well, the first primetime game Sunday night is San Francisco hosting the Falcons. It's 2 just about everywhere, but 2.5 over on DraftKings. Actually, as I say that, they literally went from 2.5 down to 1.5, minus 115. So that just changed. So now DraftKings has this at 1.5 minus 115 and 47.5 plus 100 even money on the over. Which way do you like? You obviously have a strong opinion here.
Why are the Falcons not favored in this game with the 49ers having all these injuries? The Falcons defense looks fucking amazing. Their skill players look fucking amazing. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, even Penix looks like he's coming around. The Falcons might be a wagon. I really, really like Atlanta money line is my second favorite bet this week is Atlanta money line.
That's good. I mean, my numbers have Atlanta as the favorite in this game. So
exactly. Why are they not favored? I don't get it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like Atlanta. The total seems interesting. What do you like on this total?
I think it's over. I don't think Atlanta's getting stopped. So 49ers are going to have to throw to keep up.
Okay, I like this game to go to the under. I like how this Atlanta defense is playing. So I actually like I like the under quite a bit, and I do like Atlanta a lot. So I'm with you on this one. At least we both have a strong opinion. I think Atlanta should be favored. I'm with you on this game.
They might be by the time the game happens.
That very well could be. Yeah, I mean, literally, as I'm looking at it, like I said, that thing went from 2.5 to 2.5 minus 115 to 1.5 minus 115. As I was staring at it. So yeah, who knows? This one could flip. It's it doesn't take a lot once you get down to that 1.5 to kind of flip.
Atlanta's fucking good, man.
What's up?
Atlanta's fucking good, man.
I agree. I think they're better than maybe a lot of people anticipated. They had that game against Carolina. I think that's still leaves
that
a bad
was all.
That was an odd. It was an odd game, but I think it's on the back of people's mind. I think this Atlanta team is better, certainly, than what San Francisco is putting on the field right now. So I like that. I agree with you, but that has that. Let's be careful. We got the East Coast going primetime to West Coast in that one, so we'll see. I know, but no, I'm with you. I like Atlanta, but got to give some of these trend touty kind of
Michael Penix played for Washington.
He did play for Washington.
That's on the West Coast.
That is true. All right, let's go Monday night. The Detroit Lions. This is good. It's a good one on as far as you're looking at the records. You look at where Tampa is. Tampa comes into town, but they're laying 6. Tampa's a big dog here. 5-1 team. They've been winning a lot of close games, and lost a close game. So who knows? I mean, their record could go either way right now. But -6 for the Lions, -108 on DraftKings. Over 52.5 is -118 at DraftKings. You said you like these primetime games. What do we like?
The number one bet this week is Detroit -5.5. Tampa is now missing Igbokwe in addition to Evans and Godwin and Bucky Irving. They've pulled a lot of these games out of their ass. They're not as good as their record indicates. And I do not foresee them being able to move the ball very well in this game. I think this gets out of hand quick. I think Detroit puts up 35, 38, and it stays under. So we're looking at a 38-13 type game. I think Detroit just mauls them.
Yeah, I think the injuries. I think I'll agree with
They're
you.
piling up.
Yeah, I think it finally catches up to them. I think they've kind of been walking the tightrope. Look, Baker, Romo said it. I think you said it last week. Like, I think Romo said it on the broadcast. Like, he's the MVP right now.
He wins this game.
If he wins this game, you could, just keep adding to it. But we got a long way to go. But he's been phenomenal. You got to give him a ton of credit what he's done in turning around his career here in Tampa. And it's like, but yes, I mean, they've basically just been able to put in.
Name 3 wide receivers playing for Tampa in this game.
Exactly. That's the problem. They get it. It's like everyone forgot about Mike Evans. You had, Igbokwe is the top, and he's been phenomenal. That was, who made that catch last week, though? I was watching. I was over at my
Tez Johnson.
That was an
They have 2 guys named Johnson, by the way.
That was an unbelievable finger catch. It was I was sitting there with my nephew who plays football, watching the game, and so he was all excited about it. The Tampa fans, of course, down here. But I agree with you. I think eventually here these injuries catch up to him. It's I think it's a line maybe that's going to stick out to a lot of people. Like, I think to the casual bettor, like, boy, that's a lot of points for Tampa. They're 5-1. They're the best team in the league right now, and I think that's how people are looking at it.
And Detroit looked like shit last week. It's a perfect spot.
Exactly. Yeah, coming off a bad loss, prime time again. I will. Was that prime time? Or was that a 4:00 game? I'm trying to remember. That was the prime time, right? The Detroit
Kansas City was prime time.
That was the prime time game. Yep. So they get back-to-back primetime games here for Detroit. I think they cover this game as well. You like this to the under? You said.
Yeah, Tampa's just going to get fucking rolled.
Yeah, I would have probably leaned to the over here. With the banged up Tampa team, I'm going to take the Lions and the under.
I just don't. The Lions got
one more.
Punt.
What's up?
So the Lions aren't going to punt, so it's going to be like a lot of 6-7 minute drives.
You just think it's just a bad game. It's not.
I think they're just going to murder them.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that one. Boring game. Maybe. Well, there's a 3-hour gap in between these 2 games, so. It's not like we could switch over like we did.
We get the 10 p.m. JBC Sicko special.
10 a.m. I will probably be
10 p.m.
10 p.m. I should say. Yeah, I'll be 4 or 5 Jack Daniels in by the time that one kicks.
4 or 5 Jacks and a gummy, just full dumb.
I usually don't mix the 2, but I'm out of gummies right now, so hopefully I will have them by Monday. I'll have to go pick some up, so I'll even be able to make that choice and that decision. Yeah. But Seattle's favored here against Houston, -3 and over.
Oh, yeah, sorry. This is amazing. This is true. Tez Johnson thought they were chanting MVP for him after he caught that ball.
Did he? I didn't.
He was like,
I was watching my aunt's house outside, so I really wasn't.
He was like, I didn't do shit.
It was. I mean, it really was an unbelievable.
It was a great catch. It was a great.
It was a phenomenal catch. But yeah, no, he's not quite the MVP just yet. But Seattle is hosting the Texans on this 10 p.m. game. -3, 41.5, -105 to the over at DraftKings. They've got the highest total, it looks like, at most books right now. What do we like on this one? This is another one that you said you like.
Seattle. It opened at 2.5. You can find some 3.5s now. This is a 2024 line. I don't understand it. The Texans are not good. They've looked like shit. And Seattle has looked amazing pretty much the entire season. And Seattle's defense looks good. Seattle's offense looks good. Everything looks good. Darnold looks good. Smith and Jigba crushing. And what do the Texans provide here that makes anybody think that they should only be a field goal underdog? This should be like 7. Like I love Seattle and I love the under because I don't think the Texans are scoring. So 27-10 Seattle, something like that.
Yeah, my numbers are a little skewed because Houston got to play Baltimore without Lamar. And
right.
that's boosting their numbers. And I still have Seattle as a bigger favorite.
I think this is going to get to like 4.5.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think that's probably where my numbers would have been here, but I still have them at 2.5 point favorite in this game. I agree with you on Seattle. You like this? You said you like this under?
Under.
Yeah, I like the under as well. I think so. What do we have? 41.5.
Seattle's defense is pretty good.
Agreed. Yeah, and we know. Look, the Houston can play defense. I mean, they are one of the better defenses in the league.
Mike McDonald, pretty good defensive coach.
Yes. Fantastic. I'm going to take the under as well. I agree with you on both sides. I think we're getting a lot. I think we're getting a lot of value here on the under in this game, but I think Seattle as well. Houston's going to struggle to score.
I'm loving these primetime games.
You talked about them they won 26-0. But they kind of struggled in that game to score.
They didn't move the ball until the end. It was like 6-0 in the third quarter.
It was 6-0. Yeah, because
I think that finally the defense started creating opportunities for.
That's right.
At some point.
So they have not looked good to me offensively at all. This and like you said, I think the Seattle team is strong. I think another one that shocked us. We did not like Seattle coming into the year.
Nope.
We thought the Raiders were getting the bump up in those moves. And
remember, the Raiders were like a pick 'em at New England week 1, and they won.
Yes. Oh, and we were patting ourselves on the back that New England sucks. We knew New England would suck. And
we knew it.
And now, like as that game was going on yesterday, Sunday, I'm sitting there going, I'm like 2 weeks ago, I thought this was in the bag. All my under. New England. I go, now they're going to win this. I'm like, they're going to win the division. They're going to win the goddamn division now. I'm like, how did this happen? Like, I definitely didn't see it coming.
Football's the best.
I think they're better than. Are they better than Buffalo? Obviously, they beat them. But
hell yeah, they're better than Buffalo.
They're better than Buffalo right now.
The ball.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy the way the season's gone.
It's the classic Drake Mays on a rookie contract and Josh Allen's making $300 million situation. New England's better than them.
You know, that's actually that's a really, really good point, because the way you have to win in the league now is you have to get that
Buffalo
quarterback.
Can't afford Stephon Diggs. Guess who has fucking Stephon Diggs?
Exactly. I mean, you really started noticing it like Russell Wilson Day, right? You know, they were able to get, and then Patrick Mahomes. It's like you get these quarterbacks. The reason Brady was winning is because he wasn't taking the salary that he really deserved and to try and win. But yeah, that's the way the NFL is. You've got to get. That's why, look, Dallas. Once Dallas gave that big contract to Dak, it's like, and then, well, when they signed, what's his name? Who I forget, the running back who I've chosen to forget now. Zeke. It's like, I mean, you just never give a running back money. But once you have to start paying your quarterback, it just decimates your entire team. And it's like,
unless you're Mahomes, it's not going to get it done.
Right.
I mean, look at the Ravens without Lamar. Holy shit.
We said that. We're like, I don't think they're not pricing in the Lamar not being there enough.
They
I think
ass.
It was initially 9. It went to 11 point. No, that's, you know, I mean, now when we start talking about Lamar, you've got to have even that much more respect for Lamar. I don't know if there's another quarterback who's got that big of a gap in the point spread between him and the backup. They can't be, because I've never even seen
Mahomes, but
maybe Mahomes, but I don't even know. I don't know.
They won that playoff game that one time with Chad.
I was thinking that too. Yeah. What was the who was the back? There was a veteran backup. Castle. Was it Matt Castle?
No.
Who was it?
Chad Henne.
That's it. Yeah. Actually, they brought him back in the game. Didn't Mahomes come back in that game?
And then then they pulled him back out, and we're like, no, Henne's got this.
Right. Yeah. But Henne looked good.
Listen, the answer to this question is maybe. I think we got Kansas City and Green Bay. I think it's the Super Bowl.
Is that
my Super Bowl right now is Kansas City versus Green Bay.
I'm still not ruling Baltimore out.
And you know what? Kansas City and Green Bay both have roughly oblong football shaped logos. Could be something there.
Yeah. I think that's got to factor in to your thinking. Very strong. I like that.
All right. Are we doing a pick six?
Yeah, I think we have to.
Are we playing guess the balance? Guess the balance. If you guess it down to the cent, you get 10x the balance.
Well, So then I'm going to say $17.96 then.
Let's see here. All right. $3,013.61.
Ah, that was my second guess.
Okay. Let's go to the NFL Pick 6. Sponsored by DraftKings.com. We'll start with let's get a little receiving yard action going in here. Oh man, Rashee Rice coming in hot with the 65.5 already. Let's see here. I'll go with Devontae Smith under 50.5 to start.
Devontae Smith under. Okay. All right, let's go. This is tricky. I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna go with Drake May's over 19.5 on his completions.
Completions. All
Yes.
right. Oh, 21.5 at 1.3x. I'm not seeing the 19.5. You want to go for this one?
Oh, I think it just went off.
A little higher
literally
juice.
just there, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
So,
We'll go a little higher juice, 1.3x. There.
No, I don't want it.
Bitch.
All right, I'm gonna go. Let's go to. I'm gonna take Isaiah Pacheco's under on his rushing yardage in this game. 44.5.
There we go. Isaiah Pacheco under rushing yards. All right. Well, again, I'm going to the Carolina game. We're going with Tetaroa McMillan over 53.5 receiving yards.
Going with the over. Give me Bijan's receiving yards over the 36.5.
Bijan Robinson over 36.5
That just
receiving yards.
disappeared. Oh no, here it is. Yeah,
I got it.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say I thought that disappeared on me too.
All right. I will go with, let's check this game out. We'll go with Krosky Merritt to score.
Okay. And I'll give you my last one. I'm taking Sam Darnold's passing yardage to the under 232.5.
Oops. Passing yards. Where's the fucking search function? Sam Darnold. Oh, wait, it's not showing the Monday games.
Oh, we don't get that one.
I'm not seeing the Monday games. Let me see.
It should be on there.
Nah, no results.
All right, no problem. We'll pick a non-Monday. How about this? Let's take Patrick Mahomes' rushing yardage over.
Mahomes over
21.5.
24. It just went to 24.5.
It's like they're listening to me. It was literally just 21.5.
Well, you want to take it?
I'm still taking it, though. Yes, 24.
All right. We got Devontae Smith under 50.5 receiving yards. Isaiah Pacheco under 44.5 rushing yards. Tetaroa McMillan over 53.5 receiving yards. Bijan Robinson over 56.5 receiving yards. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt box. Patrick Mahomes over 24.5 rushing yards. 100 wins, at least 22.5 to 1. Submitted. Yay.
All right. That is going to wrap it up for us. This time you got to remember to actually
Close the show, yeah.
yeah,
Good luck,
because I think-
everybody.
yeah.
Especially Matty I 704. Good luck.
Yeah. Exactly.
Goodbye.